that way it'll do that. We'll give everybody a minute or so to get on. So if you just
Alright.
look around, it's just because that's what we're doing here today. Here, my friend, I would lay it over your face a little, like let it for like give it a minute, and then it'll help loosen it. I
Just
can
put it
probably,
all over.
yeah, and then start wiping it, girl. It's gonna get all that funk off your face. Okay, does everybody else say it's noon? I just want to make sure. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I can't get the time on my new little computer thing to work right, so I can't ever tell. And it drives me, because there's 15 people waiting to get in, that's why. Like, why isn't that showing me that? That's what I get I wanted to try it on here, so when I'm at seminar and stuff. I was like, where's everybody at? I knew they'd be coming.
Hi.
Hi, friends, welcome. I'm going to have you, if you're not muted yet, if you would not mind muting, I would so greatly appreciate that, because some of you I know are literally on lunch break and doing things, and that would just help me so much as we start. Because even if you're in a quiet room, sometimes if it's on speaker or even how sensitive your microphones are, it'll pick it up and whoo, that's all we'll hear on the recording. And we want to hear our beautiful friend Sandy today because she's taking her time to give to us. So I think I got everybody. I'll make sure. Well, see, now I'm glad I played around with this thing and figured it out. Listen, technology repels me, so it really is kind of ironic. I'm the one running this show. That somehow this thing has taken on a life of its own. But see, that's what we all need to hear. Anyone can do my job, and we all need to learn new things, right? I was a girl during COVID that fought it with all I had not to do it. So, and here we are. So thank you everybody for being on our fabulous lunch and learn. We're going to start. We have the fantastic, I'm not going to say too much because it might be part of her training and story. And I don't want to give that away. But the fantastic Sandy, and see, I just want you to know, I've loved getting to know you through these lunch and learns. I've loved having you on. Everything you say, to watch your powerful year this past year, and you just being so genuine, honest, and vulnerable with everything that you were sharing each week was phenomenal. And so we're so honored and privileged to have you as our guest speaker, and your wisdom, and you do it the Mary Kay way. And I have so much respect for you, girl. And so I'm not going to say much more. I'm going to let you take over because I know your time is valuable, and some of you are prepping to go to seminar. And some of you, I mean, you might already be heading that way, or you're actually on lunch break. So I don't want to take away from Sandy's time, but just know I have the utmost respect for you. I believe in you. I think you are sensational. And so thank you again, my friend, for your time, and go give heart.
oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, yikes. I need some Kleenex. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this without crying. Jennifer, thank you for your belief in me. And I'm trying to see myself as a top director. We did just finish the $300,000 unit club again. And I want to give some credit to Denise. Thank you, Denise, for sharing that idea that I used a couple of years ago that got us to our first unit club. And I just want to recognize all my unit members that are on today. So thank you guys so much for being here to support me. And I do really appreciate, like a lot of speakers have said, that they appreciate people being on camera. And I know it's not always possible, but it's like, you know, I recognize Bridget. She's on a lot of the stuff that I'm on. And so is Carla on a lot of the stuff that I'm on. And then, you know, it's, so I'm going to talk about showing up. I'm going to talk about some things that have served me well. I've had years where I've struggled. You know, I've been in the business 40 years. And so if any of you are struggling or have never done a unit club or any of that, I'm hoping that some of the things that I will share will help you with that. So, so I'm going to refer to my notes a little bit too, because I'm kind of nervous. So why I love Lunch and Learn
Supplements, I believe in.
is because it's,
Skincare is amazing.
oh, Jennifer,
But sometimes we want a little
Jennifer,
bit.
you're not
So,
muted.
I'm gonna share.
She's doing a facial right now.
This is called.
And so, and she's always so careful to mute everybody else. So I'll go ahead and talk over that. So why I love Lunch and Learn is because the directors that are speaking speak from their heart. They're, you know, it's what's important to them. They're not just talking on a subject like booking. And they are also telling you, giving you nuggets of things that have worked or are working for them. And so that's those are the reasons why I keep showing up for Lunch and Learn.
And then it makes.
And if anybody has Jennifer's cell phone, maybe they could call her and tell her that she's not muted. I know she's going to be very embarrassed. So I want to tell you my affirmation.
I mean, I don't care.
So,
I mean, Kendall uses it.
I'm talking louder and she's talking louder.
Resveratrol is what it's kind of like
That's,
superpowers.
that's so funny.
So it's
So my affirmation is I'm excited, consistent, courageous, persistent, daring to dream, daring to risk, dynamic, determined, and driven.
I'm gonna have you put this on today.
Do you know her number? Does somebody know her phone number to call her and tell her?
Can I just rub it in?
Wait.
Maybe
Oh,
somebody in the group
Yeah.
has Jen's number.
Oh, yeah, we could try all unmuting. Well, I don't know if we, yeah, I guess we could all unmute and see. if-
She just muted herself.
Oh, there she did. Okay, she got it. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to start my affirmation again. So I'm excited, consistent, persistent, daring to dream, daring to risk. I'm a dynamic director. Oh, excuse me, I flubbed it up. I am excited, consistent, courageous, persistent, daring to dream, daring to risk, dynamic, determined, and driven. I am Pink Cadillac, Senior Sales Director, Sizzle and Cookin' Sandy Cook. So that's my affirmation. And I do love, thanks, Nina. I do love to help people. I do work affirmation workshops. That's one of my specialties. So why me with Mary Kay? I love a challenge. Have any of you ever attended Linda Tupin's boot camp? Bridget, you have your part, yeah. And so the first time and I think she says it at every training she does, the first thing she says is 4-H taught me how to win. How many of you did 4-H or brownies or Girl Scouts or something like that, where Lynn's raising her hand, where you learned how to win? I mean, that sets a pattern. So for your children, your grandchildren, get them into something where they can win. I did 4-H from the time I was 10 years old till right out of high school. And does anybody know the 4-H pledge? It is, I pledge my head to clear thinking. I pledge my heart to greater loyalty. I pledge my hands to larger service. I pledge my health to better living for my club, my community, and my country. And when you come from something like that, like our Pledge of Allegiance, this, kind of a pledge, and so Wendy's saying it, 4-H is the best. And it really sets a groundwork for you to win all through life. And so that is, so I love to win. I love self-growth. I love helping others to grow. And then, so I've achieved success over the years in different ways. and some of the ways I'm going to talk about. I always showed up. I was willing to set goals. I was willing to fail. I worked my business. Like so many of you, like Carla that I see all the time on the different events. You've heard when you show up, you go up, but it's not just that you learn, you stay in the know. You get an idea that will spark something. Like a couple of weeks ago, towards the end of June, I heard an idea on Lunch and Learn that made me know that we were going to do our goal. We were going to reach 300,000, and it was, it was a done deal based on what she had shared. And you make connections, you develop relationships, and so like. At Seminar and Leadership, I've strengthened my relationship with Denise. And so, it's just so fun to have all those people in your corner. And all my consultants that are on can attest to this. I do remind them every once in a while that they're very lucky to have me, because I attend a lot of stuff, a lot of trainings. I keep them in the know. They're up to date on all the events, whether they choose to take part in them or not, is their business, but they are at least informed. And so I want to give you an example of showing up and how it can make such a huge difference. And you've all had these, but these are a couple of benchmarks in my life. I went to Career Conference a couple of years ago, and I had to help coordinate a couple of buddies of mine that were speaking at the director meeting. And so I had to talk with Amanda, who is one of the 3 head sales development teams for Emerald. And I don't know what I said or what happened, but she said, Sandy, I want you to call me Monday morning. And so I did. And out of that, a friendship and a connection was born. And I've never had a connection like this with anybody at corporate, that they know who I am, that they're working with me. And all my unit is going to get to meet Amanda at leadership. We have 9 of us going, and plus a husband. And so that's so exciting, because we've all gone where there have been years where we've gone by ourselves to seminar. And I wanted to give you one other example. You never know that the kindness that you're showing somebody, how it's going to come back to you. And I was doing it partly for myself, but our senior director was having a retreat and I had nobody going. And so I called 2 of the people in my unit, Lynn was one of them, and said, could I be your adopted director this weekend? Because I knew their director didn't usually attend stuff. And they were thrilled. And I was thrilled to have somebody to take care of. And out of that, when our senior, who became a national for 5 years, when she retired, Lynn and Sally chose to come into my unit, and they brought their teams with them. And so, that was one of the first things. Another thing was that this beautiful woman named Cleo in our national area, she had, she saw me show up for everything. She saw the kind of care that I gave to my team, my customers, and my unit. And one day she was approaching 90 and she was starting to have problems with her memory. And she called me and she said, Sandy, would you be willing to take myself and my unit? And she had about 80 people in her unit. So God really blessed me and showed me that he knew I could take care of these people. So I'll be forever grateful for that. And another time, how many of you have heard of and have done the Miracle Morning? Okay. All right, if you haven't done the Miracle Morning, this be an introduction to you to the Miracle Morning. So Hal Elrod came up with this idea. So Google Hal Elrod or look him up on YouTube. And the thing is that a lot of times people, the things that he has developed in the Miracle Morning, people will say, oh, well, I can't get up early. I couldn't do all those things. It would take too long. So when I heard about the Miracle Morning, it's a routine that you do in the morning, and he suggests getting up early. And so there are 6 things that you do. And one is silence, one is affirmation, one is visualization, one is reading, one is exercise, and one is scribing or writing. And he calls them savers. So, you know, so the miracle is that I met a gal who was doing the Miracle Morning, and she had a video. She shared it with me, and she told how she started out doing each of those practices 1 minute a morning. And I thought, I can do that. So, so I started doing the Miracle Morning. I'm thinking, I don't remember, I'm gonna have to go back and look what year I started, but it's been quite a few years. He wrote a book, The Miracle Morning, but I would say just jump to his other book, The Miracle Equation, because if you watch YouTube, hear his story, there's actually a movie, he did a movie, The Miracle Morning, and maybe I could put that on our Facebook page, The Miracle Morning movie. But with that, with information about his personal story and going to get the Miracle Equation, that'll give you a good leg up on Miracle Morning. Let's see, so let me just see what else. So something I'm proud of is that I started. Now, I've said this to people, and I don't know if anybody else is taking the idea, but I hold my unit meeting on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. And I started it over 20 years ago, and it was a conference call for almost 20 years. And then my group of about 8, it's usually 8 to 12 people on our Zoom, when COVID hit, they said, Sandy, we want to start doing Zoom unit meetings. And I said, I don't know anything about Zoom. And they said, well, you're just going to have to learn because that's what we want. And so so I did. I learned, and I realized it wasn't that difficult. And we've been doing Zoom ever since. And I don't know where this thought came from, but it came out of COVID. And I say it all the time. And I think that our Zoom unit meeting is a product of this. I said, look, anytime you're in a situation you're not crazy about, look for the lessons and the blessings, because there's going to be something. There's going to be something in all of that, whether it's a tragedy or whatever. So look for the lessons and the blessings. I have to tell you something cute. I really do believe in being on camera, because I think it's important first for the speaker to see you, because I kind of have been watching some of you to see, if you're smiling, if you're, clapping, if you're what you're doing. And but one thing that really struck me funny was that there's Nanette, okay. And was that I was at leadership this last year, and I'm walking down the hallway with a buddy of mine, and all of a sudden I hear, Sandy Cook, Sandy Cook, Sandy Cook. And I turn around and I'm looking at this lady, and I have no idea who she is. I mean, she doesn't look familiar, anything. I said to her, I said, am I supposed to know you? And she said, Sandy, I see your face on Janice Truth's events all the time. She said, I just had to come say hi to you. So, it makes a difference to get yourself out there. I mean, I still go, I can't believe that Jennifer asked me to speak today. But let's see. The speaker last week said something that I was so glad to be reminded of. she said, she brought up the be unoffendable. And I didn't think it was a word. I mean, I actually thought I invented it, but she said Cindy Williams did. So be unoffendable. People get offended too quickly. And I just really want you to put that up as a sign somewhere, to be unoffendable. I have a sign in my kitchen that says nice matters. That's another good one. I love this too. No, I don't see where it is, but I usually have a sign in front of me that says believe when it's not believable. And let's see. So I wanted to share a couple of other things. One's a little ditty and the other's pretty important. I was on here's another showing up. I was on a conference call with a national, and she shared that every month, I don't do it every month now, she gets out a new spiral notebook. And she uses that spiral notebook for everything that I used to do my to-do list in there too. But now what I do, because I was getting so many spiral notebooks, is I put on the date when I'm starting the spiral notebook on the front and when I finish it. So I just fill up the whole thing. But so I could go back to my spiral notebook right now and tell you who spoke, 2 weeks ago on Lunch and Learn, and key things that that I learned from it. And if I talk to Nanette this afternoon, I'd take notes in that notebook. So I would just know, okay, I talked to Nanette kind of mid-July, and I could go back and find that. So that's something that just made a huge difference for me. How many of you have heard of Dr. Schuler? Anybody? Okay, good. Bridget and Sharon. Who else? Anybody in Southern California should know of him. Yeah, okay, Nanette and Nina. So Dr. Schuler was my church for a long time. He had a televised ministry. Oh, Carla says she loves her monthly spiral. I got to take a drink, you guys. So I haven't looked at any of the chats. So Dr. Schuler came to, I think he was raised in Iowa. And Bridget does the spiral also. So he was raised in Iowa. He became a preacher. He came out to California, and he is kind of in the Norman Vincent Peale lineage. Norman Vincent Peale was the author of The Power of Positive Thinking. So Dr. Schuler, he actually started his church in California in a drive-in theater. Do any of you remember that? Know about that? Yeah. And so Dee Dee says yes. And so don't you just love it when you're needing a book and you go to your bookshelf and a book pops out just at the right time? So this was Dr. Schuler's book, If You Can Dream It, You Can Do It, Power Thoughts. And this was copyrighted in 1993. I love it. And going back and looking at it, it's really easy print. I love easy print. And going back over what I'm going to share with you, I saw so many other things that it was like, oh my gosh, I got to go back and read this book again. So this is in the chapter, The Creative Process of Power Thinking. And he came up with the idea of the possibility game. And he actually, a word I came upon too was, he called it possibilitizing. And there was one other thing. He said, one rule of playing this game is that nothing is impossible. He said, fling open the mental doors and windows of your imagination. So my consultants have heard me say this over and over. And so you're going to get out a piece of paper. You guys probably already have a piece of paper in front of you. So get a clean piece of paper. And what you're going to do is at the top of it, you're going to write something that you really want to accomplish or that you want, but that you think that it looks impossible. So you're going to write that up at the very top. And then what you're going to do, I created this myself, I guess. He didn't say to do this, but I say, write a prayer in the upper left-hand corner, and the prayer says, Lord, show me 10 ways to turn this impossibility into a possibility. And then number 1 through 10, and let your imagination run wild. What 10 ways that you could make this happen? And he used this to create the Crystal Cathedral. And since he had been doing his church outside on the top of the snack bar at the drive-in theater, he loved having the sky and just nature right there. And so he wanted something where everybody could see out and could see the sky. And so it meant having windows. Almost the whole thing was all windows. I thought of something today too, that I was looking out in my garden and I thought most flowers have season. They only bloom in a certain season. We are so fortunate we can bloom in every season. So that just came to me. So he did this to get get the Crystal Cathedral built. And he said he had all kinds of ideas. I was just going to see if he said, so I'll just read a couple of his ideas. He said 10 ways to get $7 million to build the Crystal Cathedral. He said, I started from scratch and scratched it out. So one was get one gift of $7 million from one person. He laughed, I did, but that relaxed me. I was playing a game and enjoying it, so I relaxed. That set the stage for my subconscious to be creative, receptive to great God-sent ideas. 2, get 7 gifts of $1 million from 7 people. 3, get 1 gift of $1 million from 1 person. Get 2 gifts of $500,000 from 2 people. Get 4 gifts of $250,000 from 4 people. And so 10, and it goes on. So my unit has heard me say this and has seen me strategize this way with what we had to do to finish the 300,000. And so they've witnessed some of this. And I am just about at 30 minutes, and those were a few things that I had. So what's somebody who would like to say something that they got out of today?
Sandy, you're sensational. What do you
Yes.
mean you don't know why I asked you to speak? You're one of the most amazing women ever. You have so much knowledge
you.
and so much heart and integrity, and people need to hear you today, friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. I do have a request. Would somebody copy the comments and send them to me? Because I know we'll be ending soon, so I won't get a chance to actually look at the comments. This is usually the part where nobody talks, and so I speak up. So Annette, what would
I'll talk.
yes,
I'll talk.
we'll talk. Okay,
Who wants to
This
go?
is
Who wants to
Denise
talk?
Kucharski.
Okay.
Hey, Sandy, it's Denise Kucharski. I love everything you said. I really love that, making a list of 10 ways to do something big that you think you can't do. I've never heard that before. And the prayer part of it, I love that part. So thank you for sharing that. That was a new one for me. I also love your emphasis on showing up, because sometimes the older we get and the more we've been to, I mean, like for me, it's 42 years. When you've been to 42 years of stuff, you start to think that, you know, you can skip things. And so I see a lot of people nodding, but you know, there's always something. And even in the difficult things where you said there's either, what did you say? There's either a lesson or a,
Well, there
Blessing
are
or
lessons
or
and blessings.
Mhm.
or a blessing, a lesson or a blessing. I really hadn't
No,
heard that.
it
put
can be
exactly that
both.
way
It
either. I
can
love
be
that.
both. Yeah.
And it could be both.
Okay.
That's true. Well, we've all lived that, but I love the way you said that. So thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome. And Robin? Oh, it looked like she was going to speak. Nanette, did you want to say something?
Yes, I just want to thank you so much, Sandy. Sandy is actually my sales director. I came over with Cleo Sherrod, the 90-year-old sales director that retired from Mary Kay. But Cleo Sherrod, if any of you remember her, her saying was that she put the C in customer service, and she really did. And she loved Sandy. She saw Sandy at the retreats and everything that were being given by our national at that time. And I am so proud to be part of your Heartlighters unit, Sandy. And one of the things that I got out of this was I have started to use the spiral notebooks. We think, oh, what's the big deal? But it really is a big deal when we can keep track of the notes, because what did Mary Kay say? The faintest ink is better than the most retentive of memory. So Sandy, thank you so much for that reminder. I'm going to get my my spiral notebook going once again. I just have this one and that one, but I'm going to do that. And like you said, put a date on them so you know when they began and when they end. And I know some other ladies in the chat, hopefully someone was able to copy it. I'm on my cell phone, so I'm not able to, but someone said that other nationals and other people have books that are very similar to that to keep their notes and stuff in, give reminders and new consultant lists and all that other stuff. So you're doing it, and I'll be doing it with the spiral bound notebook, but everybody's doing something, because you really do need to keep track of those notes, which makes such a difference in our lives. So thank you.
You're welcome. And Liliana? Is
Hi,
that?
I am new to Lunch and Learn, just first time here. So I appreciate you sharing, and yeah, don't ever doubt yourself why you're here. We all know that we have a reason for everything that happens. So I appreciate you sharing, and your just you're a legacy in Mary Kay, obviously 40 plus years. I've been in Mary Kay over 20. So I have a national, so sometimes, you know, it's hard to spread out to other trainings, because we get it with Cindy Fox, my senior national sales director. And so on. But I wanted to share that I love you, everything you shared, and I'm not going to say again because everybody said what I was going to say. So all of the things that they mentioned, I was going to mention, but I love your affirmation. So since that's one of your specialties, I would love it if there's some way maybe in the group that you'd share the affirmation with us.
Oh, sure. Let's see. How,
Sandy,
you know,
you
I'll
can-
do it.
You can always
the
send it to
Facebook.
me, and I can post it when I post the recording. I can post it in the comments
Right.
below your recording if that helps you.
Okay. Oh, okay. And if anybody would like me to do an affirmation workshop for them, you know, we could do it on Zoom with your people. So just let me know, like Denise, if you want to do that.
Wow, that's a
So
great offer.
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't
Yeah.
take too long, and you can set the idea in motion. But yeah, that I love doing that.
Oh gosh,
Sandy, I have
Anybody
a
else?
question for you.
Yes.
I don't think you told this in your story. How many years were you a director before you achieved a unit club for the first time?
Well, so I didn't become a director till I'd been in the business 10 years. It had always been a goal of mine from the time I came in. And then, so I've been a director 31 years now. So it was on my 29th year as a director that I did Unit Club. So I hope that gives people hope.
It's amazing.
That just, I mean, I marvel at that. And I know you give a lot of credit to starting that program for giving a prize for 300 wholesale, but it takes more than that. So my question is, how did you tell them? Had you talked to Unit Club for a long time? Did you tell them this is the year we're really going to do it? How did you keep it in front of them? How did you make that price for 300 really work for you?
Boy, I don't know. I guess it's because one of the reasons is because I have that 10 or 12 people that are with me every Saturday. So they're a little bit of a voice, and they're where I can put all of this out. And then I swear by Shaney's office. I love the services. I mean, I know there's all kinds of things out there, but I've got the Easy Blast and, you know, different things, different tools that are making a huge difference. So like every Thursday about 10:45, I send out an Easy Blast to my key people, letting them know that Lunch and Learn is starting, you know, in just a few minutes. And so usually we have about 4 or 5 of our unit members on this. And so I think it's because I've really tried to build a relationship with my unit members, whether, you know, whether they're working or not working. And so I think they know I care. So I think that's part of it, so that when I do put something out, you know, it's received. So, and Nina's shaking her head. Nina,
Good
do you want to
answer.
say anything? Oh, maybe
Okay,
she
there
is.
I am. Yeah, I just enjoy you so much, Sandy, and I thank you for doing this today. I think you're a great encouragement to many people. I love having you as my director. You are a very caring and special woman, and you work really hard at what you do. So I just appreciate you, and I just love you, and you're a true blessing. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Oh my
you.
gosh.
And Jane just came on. Jane, oh my gosh. So she's
Don't worry, if
muted,
anybody
and I
came in
imagine-
late, we're gonna record. We haven't
Uh,
recorded, Sandy, so don't worry. If anyone came in late, I
Yeah.
can send it to everybody.
Okay. All right, Jennifer. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to do this, and also scary.
Oh my, you did amazing. Everything you had to, you know what, when everybody always asks me, what am I supposed to teach on? I'm like, it'll come to you. I just believe God works that out, right? And every week, I'm like, this is what people need to hear this week. And you brought it exactly what we need to know. Thank you for your heart, being so authentic and genuine in everything that you do, your legacy that you're continuing on. And we're just so proud of you this seminar year, friend. We were cheering for you the whole time. And I just can't wait to watch you earn that first trip. We're going to be watching that and
Oh,
cheering you
I
the whole
know.
way.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody who hopped on today and is sharing this. And give me about 24 hours usually, and we get it up to all the places wherever you found it. And if you don't, you're always more than welcome to go to my YouTube, Jennifer Enlow, or message me and I'll get it to you. I promise. Thank you so much, ladies. I hope you have an amazing Thursday. And we're all off the seminar here pretty soon. So I hope whoever's first has an amazing time.
Thank you, Jennifer.
you,
Thanks,
Sandy.
everyone.
Good
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank
Bye,
you,
my
Sandy.
sweet friend. See you again
Appreciate it.
soon.
Love y'all.
Bye.